Hey everybody, Brian the Wild Armenian, rat ride carport builder, mechanic, real estate investor, carport mechanic, whatever you want to call me. Don't call me late for lunch. Hey everybody, you know, my last video stunk. I'm going to be transparent. It did. I can't believe I put out so much garbage. No, I'm just kidding. But I do the best I can with what I got. And I go off the cuff. I don't stage anything or practice. I just talk off my mind, what's on my mind. I do take notes and write down things. Excuse me. The level of breathing today is not that great, so bear with me. But you know, it's happened. What has it been? I guess a couple of weeks now since the stock market went boop. And I really didn't. Everybody's making videos about it, and I didn't want to get on that roll, you know, with everybody. You know, there's hundreds of videos about it, and but you know, I was listening to what Warren Buffett has been doing. You know, he went to cash. He sold his Apple stock and diverted everything to cash. And so, you know, and does what, you know, the title of this video is, does Warren Buffett affect my retirement or my life, you know, what he does? And I pay attention to what he says, you know, and does, you know, of course. Do I have a lot of money in stocks? No. I don't care, you know, so I don't care. But what I feel good about that he went to cash where I'm at, you know. I also go to tangible stuff. I had my friend Ed, which was my financial advisor. He's passed away many years ago, and he was very wealthy and very shrewd and very frugal. And he never did he made millions of dollars, but he never did play the stocks. He said, you know what, Brian? He said, you know, I don't like putting my money in something where you wake up the next morning and the president has a mold on his butt and the stocks drop. He says, I don't like that. I don't like to see my numbers. He likes to make anything he did, he made money. You know what I mean? Every step he made, he didn't lose money. And I learned, you know, from him, his experience, how to do that, you know. And I put money in the stocks, and I had money in Comcast, and their stocks are very valuable. I don't know what it is now, but it got to be a moral issue with me. I just agree with their company model and how they were doing, and I think they had a free speech problem too, you know, and going against the amendments in my Constitution. So, and you know what? I vote with my heart too. You know, I put my money where my heart is, and when I invest and vote, yeah, too. And so I pulled it out and bought a car. And at the time, right after that, the market went dippy a little bit. So I did good. You know, I got out, and that's about the size of it. And I know a lot of people do invest in it and stuff. And I understand you got to allocate your money. Watch what you're doing. Hey, listen, I'm not, by all means, let me stop right here. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a CPA, okay? I'm not a real estate broker, okay? I'm just a guy that just experiences strength and hope what I do, okay? And that's it, you know? Nothing else. I'm not trying to give advice here. I'm just showing you what happens to me and my experience, strength, and hope. So let me just stop right there. So by all means. And if anything I say can help you, well, awesome, you know? I'm really glad, you know? But I just want to talk about what I do and how it's worked for me, and that's it. No, nothing more. Okay. So anyway, getting back to that, over the years, I've liked tangible stuff. You know, I got property, and people go, well, you know, the real estate market can go boost tomorrow. Well, that's true. But you know, one thing I can do is I can walk over to that property, or drive over to it actually, and I can reach down and grab the dirt and have it in my hand. Okay, and I say, this is mine. Okay, I own it. Okay, yeah, I got to pay taxes on it, property tax. So what? I mean, you know, it's not that much. I mean, really, you know. Another thing I learned a long time ago, especially young, I always thought about this. You know, when I think it was my second property. I had kids, they're very young, struggling. And I said, went to make a lease option on this property with a mobile home. It had a double wide. And my biggest thought was, I want the payments as cheap as low as I can make. So that way, if something happens, I lost my business, I can't work, economy goes flippy flop like it can do, I can at least go collect aluminum cans to pay the rent, So, and that's the way I always operated too. And then when I was buying foreclosed homes from the banks, repossession bank, whatever, I would make sure I would go to not hard money lenders. They were really expensive on their interest, but I would go to and get a loan, a special loan from the bank, basically a builder's loan, and I would buy these properties. But what I do, everybody was going, well, do a 15-year because that way the interest won't be that high. No. I'd go as long as, I think a lot of them wouldn't go 30 years, but I'd go 25 years. And conventional loans now, they're a builder loan piece. And you can go, as long as it ain't FHA, but you can go 30 years. It all depends what kind of lender you find with banks, but you could also go on a conventional loan. Because a lot of those people, a lot of those institutions, I guess they look at, you're going to have rental units and stuff like that, condos and whatever. So I've had a lot of those loans, but I always stretched it out. I went the 30 years or the 25 years, made sure the payments were low, because it was the monthly cost of building and materials, and I watched what was coming in, and what was going out, and that way I could keep track of it, And at the end of the game, the end result was when I sold the properties, I made a hell of a lot of money on the equity, of the property, the profit, and the little bit that I paid extra on the interest. So what? Didn't have them long anyway, So, it really, you're talking a few $1,000s maybe versus, thousands of dollars. I mean, what the heck? I wasn't losing money. Now, okay, if you really got down to the penny, my old friend Ed, he wouldn't do that, I'm sure. Ed would always pay cash anyway. He'd buy something. There was no loan, so he knows his way. But I had to do it that way, and it was blessed by him anyway, and I made money. Anything I did, I didn't lose money. Now, I have lost money in real estate deals. I remember one time there was there was some property, and it was 5 acres in the city, and it was a sweet deal, and it looked good for townhomes or apartments. And so the big thing is I went, at the time, that was a conventional loan. Yeah, I believe it was a conventional loan that I got, and I was in the works of it. Well, I had to get the survey done on the property, because they said, well, we don't have no problem, Brian, but, we just can't, just go by your word, So I had to do all the engineering on the property. That cost me $3,000, okay, up front. That's not counting the down payment on the contract to get that ball rolling. So earnest money, whatever it was, I don't think it was $1,000, maybe $2,000 earnest money on that. So and it got to the point I ended up going to the city and finding out what the can do's and cannots. And the first thing they did, there was this property was a nice, basically a block, like a little city block. And the one road on the back side of the property, the city road, did not have any sidewalks, didn't have any man covers, didn't even have storm drainage or anything like that. I would have to put that in. and we're talking $1 million, or over, just to do that. And I'm thinking, well, my God, why did the hell? And there was homes on the other side of the street that we're talking about. Why am I have to do this? Why do I have to put sidewalks and storm gutter? And that just killed the gain on this property. Any kind of gain I could make money on. And then plus, I'd have to borrow extra, so it just blew the whole contract out of whack. So I had to end up, and I gracefully got my earnest money back, but I lost the $3,000 on the surveyor, the engineering. Hey, you know what? It was better that I lost the $3,000 than got my, lost $100,000 or better, So, that, a lot of things like that. I have lost money. I lost, I think it was another $3,000 on another deal. It was a historical house downtown in the historical deal. Again, the city regulations, and the big problem, I was going to make office buildings out of this 2-story house. It was built in 1923, and it had an awesome basement too. And there was a problem with the zoning on the parking. So if I was going to put offices in this building, this house, turn it into an office suites, it had to have parking. And there they go. We had to have a retention pond. There was not enough land. It's like, oh, Lord, I'd have to buy the house next door, which is a historical house, tear it down. We're talking millions of dollars. I said, come on. So I lost money on my, on the contract on that deal. And that's about the only two I did. But you know what? Thank my lucky stripes. I always think of that. Good thing I didn't get into this thing and find out as I was going along. So sometimes I had to lose a few bucks here and there. Well, a few bucks, 3,000 is a lot of money. But lessons learned, so I always, I learned a valuable lesson. I learned not to mess with the city. I go outside in the rural areas, and that's where it's safer. You deal with the counties. You get in the regulations a lot of times. They can, really. So the bureaucrats really stick it to us when they do things like that. But that's it, So does Warren Buffett affect me at all? No. It kind of gives me an indicator. If he's going cash, selling Apple stocks, what that does tell me though, he's ready to jump on some deals, because Warren Buffett's not going to lose. He's not in it to lose. So that's what it tells me. I'm taking that he's looking for a downturn so he can jump on some deals, and that's why he's going to cash. So, just food for thought. I think that's what's going on. Maybe I'm wrong, but hey, like I said, we'll just have to wait and see. At least one thing I know today, the best thing you can do in any downturn economy is always live below your means. Don't live outside your means. Always have a emergency fund for those rainy days. Best thing to do is have everything paid for. Cars, home, everything. The only thing we have payments on is utilities, and food, and that's about it. Insurance, okay? And that's the way I want to keep it, And with that, hey everybody, please like and subscribe. And I know I've seen YouTube doing something different with the thumbs up and the thumbs down. It's like a little, they columnized it some kind, I don't know why. I haven't really, I think they added another feature that I don't know nothing about. I'm a boomer, so, work with me. But anyway, there's a lot of things, I'm telling you, there's a lot of things important today. My Lord Jesus Christ, my wife, I better say that, my family, my children, and my friends, and you folks too. And please, by all means, take care of yourself, and God bless you.